Hey guys, it's Cammie. Welcome back to my channel and happy Pride Month, or as I like to refer to it as, my everyday life. And I say this because unlike a lot of brands getting involved in Pride, come July 1st, my gayness doesn't go away. Today is a really important video to me because I want to talk about how brands and companies are getting involved in Pride. My experience with it, the good, the bad, the ugly, and everything in between. I also want to discuss Pride and what it means to me and how it's evolved in its meaning to me, and what I think we should be doing differently. Before we can discuss where Pride is now, I think it is extremely crucial that we rewind and talk about where Pride originated, which was 50 years ago to the day, right now, in New York at the Stonewall riots. And yes, I said riots, not a parade, not a march, not a peaceful protest even, not rainbows and running around half naked and drinking and eating and partying and listening to music. Now I'm going to give you a very brief overview of the Stonewall riots. So if you would like more information, I will leave some sources in the description box below so you can read up and educate yourself on really where all of Pride came from. The Stonewall Inn was one of the very few establishments in the 60s that allowed people of the LGBTQIA+ community to be there and live freely. And the police knew about this, which is why they would frequently raid the inn. Now, details on how these raids went down are absolutely horrifying to read. They would oftentimes line up all the patrons against the wall, and anyone dressed as a female would go in the women's restroom, and then a female officer would then verify that they genetically were a woman. And if they weren't, and it was a man dressed as a woman, they would be arrested. The fact that they were even able to check someone's genitalia for simply being at a bar is absolutely absurd and disgusting to think about today. But on top of that, if they didn't match their clothing to the projected gender roles of their genitalia, they were then arrested. The Stonewall Inn welcomed a lot of people who did not feel welcome anywhere else or couldn't afford anywhere else, and thus being a lot of homeless youth who had nothing else to lose, and anything they did have to lose, they were about to lose it right now. Now, there's a lot of discrepancies on exactly how the Stonewall riots actually started. However, a lot of people in the community credit Marsha P. Johnson, a Black transgendered woman, for throwing the first brick or shot glass, or again, there's some discrepancies. Now, although Marsha herself has said that she didn't arrive until after the riots had commenced, it is worth noting that a Black transgendered woman was a very crucial part of starting Pride. And this will be important in a little bit. Again, there's so much information on the Stonewall riots. I highly encourage you to read up and educate yourself, but for sake of time in this video, let's get moving. In the past few years, I have felt like Pride is definitely more of just a celebration and solely focused on that celebration of being you and being yourself and being comfortable with who you are. And if you're unable to be that person anywhere else, this is the time for it. I think that's beautiful. I think it's important. And I think it is a crucial part of Pride. However, it somewhat felt like the only part of Pride, especially after Pride in 2015 when gay marriage was legalized in the US, which was huge and incredible and amazing. I felt like a lot of people lost sight of what we still have to fight for. Now, don't get me wrong, I am thrilled with how far we have come in 50 years since the Stonewall riots, but I want us to remember how far we still have to go. For many individuals within our community, they are completely free and able to live who they are openly. I think I'm definitely up there within that group. I am very privileged and I recognize that. But we cannot forget the marginalized groups within our community we still need to fight for. And for those of us with the privilege, we need to be the voices for those marginalized groups. We need to continue to fight for them. This is still a protest. It is not just a celebration. Although we have a lot to celebrate, we still have a long way to go. And my whole goal within this video is to really encourage you guys to continue this fight. I don't know about you guys, but when I think of extreme acts of violence and murders on the LGBTQIA+ community, instantly Matthew Shepard pops in my mind. It was heavily portrayed in the media, it was shown to us constantly, and quite frankly, terrified the shit out of me. For some reason, in present day, we feel like these acts of violence and these murders, especially within the US, aren't happening today. But the truth is, they're happening just as much, if not more, now than they were then. I'd like to take a minute to read off to you guys 11 individuals killed this year alone, 2019, In the United States, Dana Martin, 31, a black transgender woman, was fatally shot in Montgomery, Alabama on January 6th. Jazeline Ware, a black transgender woman, was found dead in her Memphis apartment in March. Ashanti Carmen, 27, a black transgender woman, was fatally shot in Prince George's County, Maryland on March 30th. Claire Legato, 21, a black transgender woman, was fatally shot in Cleveland on April 15th. Malaysia Booker, 23, a black transgender woman, was fatally shot in Dallas on May 18th. Michelle Tamika Washington, 40, a black transgender woman, was fatally shot in Philadelphia on May 19th. Paris Cameron, 20, a black transgender woman, was among 3 people killed in a horrific anti-LGBTQ shooting in a home in Detroit on May 25th. Chanel Lindsay, 26, a black transgender woman, was found dead in White Rock Lake, Dallas. Chanel Skurlock, 23, a black transgender woman, was found fatally shot in Lumberton, North Carolina on June 6. Zoe Spears, 23, a black transgender woman, was found lying in the streets with signs of trauma near Eastern Avenue in Fairmont Heights, Maryland, and later pronounced dead on June 13th. Brooklyn Lindsay, 32, a black transgender woman, was found dead on the front porch of an abandoned home in Kansas City. Do you guys see a running theme within that list? That all of those individuals were black, transgendered women. Now, that's not to say or downplay the other acts of violence and murders on the LGBTQIA+ community. However, this number is getting astonishing. That is just this year, 2019. We as a community need to come together. Our fight is clearly not over, and it is our duty to all stick up for one another. As individuals who know all too well what it feels like to be ostracized and told that we don't belong and that we are not worthy, we cannot be doing the same to other individuals within our community. So yes, we have so much to celebrate over these past 50 years and the huge strides we have made as a community and as a whole. But as you can see, there's so much work to be done still. So as this Pride Month wraps up, I would like to challenge you all to accept your privilege that each and every one of you has, and use that to help others who don't have that privilege, who are marginalized, who are being attacked, who are being murdered. If you have the ability to share your voice and speak up on the behalf of others, do so. I think a lot of people are feeling hopeless, and not just in this realm, but with our current political climate in general. And a lot of people are asking, so now what? What do we do? How do we act? I think the best advice I can give to you guys, and feel free to share advice in the comments below. I would love for this to be a collaborative discussion on how we can make some changes. But my personal advice would be educate yourself. Do not be in the dark on these issues. Do not wait for this information to fall in your lap. Research. You need to be armed with knowledge. Next, share your voice. Social media is powerful. Now, don't send out prayers and well wishes. That's not really gonna do much. But you sharing your information with your community is gonna get the word out more. You can donate your time, you can donate your money, you can get involved in organizations, and start caring about politics. Yes, it can feel like your vote doesn't matter when you wait until the primaries and you're living in a district that's already extremely prominently Republican or Democrat. It does matter, it does count, but you know where it counts even more? If you start locally. Start learning more about your local elections, understanding your candidates more. That is where your vote is really going to swing things, and really where you can make a difference. Okay, that is my spiel on how Pride started, where it went, where we are now, and what you can do about it. But now I want to start discussing brands and how they are getting involved in Pride. This year was absolutely insane. I could not look left, right, up, down, anywhere without seeing another brand getting involved in Pride one way or another. To be perfectly transparent and honest with you guys, I still don't know where I stand with everything. One side of me says, isn't it good that the general public is somewhat being forced to see rainbows and acknowledge that we exist whether they like it or not, and it's normalizing it and it's making people more tolerable because it's just everywhere? Yeah, maybe. Or are these brands just seeing a fad and a quick way to get involved and make some cash? Yeah, maybe. I'm honestly really torn with it all, but I think that brands can get involved in a better way. I'm really disappointed with how many companies have just thrown rainbows on a graphic tee that often doesn't even align with the aesthetic of their other products and call it support for the community. And does it make it okay if they just decide to donate a very small percentage of the proceeds to a certain LGBTQIA+ charity? I fear that a lot of companies are simply profiting off of our gayness. So to put everything into perspective, I want to discuss my personal experience with brands over Pride. I'm gonna typically leave names out of it unless I feel that it's necessary to the story, but this goes for a lot of brands. Now let's start on a positive note and then we'll get into the juicy things. My favorite event during Pride was the Be Free event in association with Lucky Brand and the Giving Keys. It was a beautiful night of people within the community getting up and sharing their stories of when they were free, which is the whole premise of Be Free. They're incredible. If you don't know about them, highly recommend you checking them out. Lucky Brand and the Giving Keys came on in association with them, and not one time did I feel pressured to buy something or to post about them. It was just a beautiful night where the community could come together and feel loved and accepted and inspired and emotional. It was wonderful. I was not paid to be at this event. I was not paid to speak at this event. I really wanted to get involved because I loved what it stood for. Okay, a few technical difficulties with the camera and the battery, but we're back. So I think we were on to the bad and the ugly of brands during Pride. It's very much so feeling like this is just a monetary issue for these brands. They want to get involved because being part of Pride is cool and a fad right now, and they want to make a quick buck. Not only people in the community are buying these Pride items, but everyone everywhere are buying these products. My main issue with all of this is, why are you profiting off of my gayness? Why are you making money and exploiting this community to make a quick buck? But you're not there to support us. You're not there all year round. You're here for these 31 days and then you leave. 31? 30? I don't know. Anyways, I feel like brands who work with content creators and influencers and all of that are scrambling in the weeks before Pride to find someone that fits their image enough and isn't too out there to use for their Pride campaigns. We see the same type of people in all of the Pride campaigns. I've talked to so many of you about how you don't feel represented at all, and I'm not surprised. I don't even feel represented. I feel like so many brands who have never worked with me and will never work with me again reached out just because it was Pride. How about you support content creators in the LGBTQIA+ community all year round? What a crazy thought. And I cannot tell you how many times I was asked to post for free to help the community, to help donations, because since they were donating the smallest minuscule amount to a charity, I should want to do that because it's a good thing. But you get to profit off of it. You, a non-LGBTQIA+ person brand, gets to profit off of my gayness, but doesn't want to pay me. To be a bit more specific, I had a really very interesting situation happen. If you follow me on Instagram, you may have seen that about a week ago, I posted a bunch of images of you guys, and this was in attempts to show all of your beautiful diverseness because, well, we're not seeing it from brands. As I was doing this, a friend reached out to me and she works for a company called Made. They basically create photo templates. And she informed me that for the month of Pride, they created all of these Pride templates, and for every time a Pride template was used, $1 would go to the Trevor Project, which is awesome. App was free to download. I didn't have to spend a dime, and I probably made about 20 templates, and a bunch of you guys sent in pictures using these templates. I was already doing something. I needed a template creator that was a little bit more unique because I wanted fun Pride stuff, made it really simple for me. As I was posting all of these, I received an email from a hotel. Now, this hotel informed me that during the month of Pride, the restaurant in the hotel would be donating 10% of the profits from a dessert and a drink that was special for Pride to the Trevor Project. After looking into this, they did not want to pay me anything for promoting it. They wanted me to post this again out of the goodness of my heart. I looked into it, and the post they wanted me to share did not include a single hashtag about being gay. It didn't include a single hashtag about the Trevor Project. All of the hashtags and the tags were about the hotel and the restaurant. So you want me to send people to your restaurant that I've never been to, and I've never had this dessert or drink, so I can't even vouch for it. You're not willing to send me, not even asking for money. You won't even send me to try the dessert or drink. You want me to recommend a place I've never had, which you guys know I don't promote things that I don't believe in and haven't tried. So you want me to send everyone to your restaurant where someone's not gonna go by themselves, they're gonna bring someone else. And I'm sure very few people are gonna get just this one drink and just this one dessert. So your hotel and your restaurant are gonna make who knows how much money off of each person I send. It's not a cheap place, so a dinner is probably gonna be at least $100. And not 10% of their entire bill is going to the Trevor Project. 10% of that dessert and that drink are gonna go to charity. That just did not sit well with me. It sounds like this sneaky backdoor to be like, oh, we're so great and so inclusive and we are so supportive of the community and look at us being so good and donating. You're doing it for profit. You're doing it to look good. You're doing it to make money. It's just insane to me that brands are getting away with this just by slapping on a rainbow or slapping on a 10% donation to charity from their product. I just can't help but think, where were these brands when it wasn't cool to be gay? Where were you? You weren't supporting us then. You're only supporting us now because it equals profits. And I get it, guys, like that is what businesses are supposed to do. They are supposed to create products that are gonna generate profit. But it just feels like they're exploiting us and it makes me feel icky and I don't like it. I just find it a little bit ironic that these companies all of a sudden don't really have a budget when it comes to pride. Again, I just want to discuss this. I really think it's an interesting topic to debate and kind of bounce around our ideas with each other because again, on one hand, I'm so excited for the visibility of our community, but on the other hand, I'm like, y'all are using us. So this video was really meant to be an intro into the talking points so that we can take this further. So I would love to continue this with you guys. First off, in the comments below is the easiest way for us to really get the discussion going. But also on Sunday evening, I am going to be starting kind of a chit-chatty skincare series on my Instagram story, or maybe we'll go live. I'm not sure about the details just yet. And I would love for you guys to be there and get involved. So if you would like to send me questions you have or topic discussions pertaining to Pride and companies getting involved in Pride, I'd love to read them and include them in the discussion on Sunday. So send them my way, either here or on Instagram or Twitter or wherever. You guys know where to find me. If you don't, I will put it all right here. I really don't feel like this is a monologue type of discussion. I really want it to be an open dialogue between all of us, but I wanted to get this information out there so you guys could get the gears rolling, start thinking about things, start coming up with thoughts and ideas and opinions of your own to either agree with me or challenge me or open up some whole other can of worms. I'm looking forward so much to talking to you guys about this further. So please, please, please join me. I love you so much and I will talk to you soon. Bye guys.